Is it recording?
Hmm.
Okay, hello YouTube. I'm back with a guest, International Master Kostya Kavutskiy,
Hey guys.
and we tried to stream some game analysis just
Yeah.
a few minutes ago, and the Romanian Wi-Fi we thought was good, but it turned out to be bad. So now we're gonna do a recording for YouTube,
Yeah.
which hopefully will be good. Like hopefully we won't get too distracted by the Twitch chat, and we can actually give some insightful analysis. And we're playing a tournament. We're playing
That's right.
the FISCA Open. It's a 9-round tournament. Game a day, except for a few days to have 2 games.
Yeah, I don't think we mentioned
So-
where. Oh, we did. We're in Romania.
In Romania, yes.
Exciting tournament. The games are all, or some of the games are broadcast on Chess24 daily. And what we're doing is just going over our games after every round. Just giving you a pretty.
And I'm going to put the link to Chess24 in the YouTube description or whatever, so you can watch live if you're awake at the time the games are being played. You can also go and replay the games. They're broadcasting the top 11 games,
Right.
and I'm the 12th seed, so my my games, at least for the first few rounds, will not be broadcast.
But eventually they will
But
be. Yeah.
hopefully they better be.
You're on the top boards.
If I don't mess up.
Right.
So-
Okay, this was round one. I guess we'll start with my game.
Yeah, let's do it.
I was playing a 1700 kid named Andre Christian Manescu, and
And we should note the section's pretty big. There's about 160 players.
right,
No accelerated pairings. So we both played substantially weaker players in the first round.
yeah, pretty down, but it wasn't easy.
Hmm.
Okay, so we got the Taimanov Sicilian. This has been one of my main lines last few years. After the game, he told me that he didn't know the opening at all, which is surprising considering he gets like a very, very good position at one point and
Mhm.
definitely outplayed me. Well, he goes for Queen D2, kind of typical English attack. I think it made sense. Here he played F3, Bishop B4, and A3. So he chose kind of a funny move order. Normally they play castles here, and then only after Bishop B4 they play F3. But he played this first. I think he was just simply making natural moves, but it's tricky because now Bishop B4, A3, I don't really want to take and give up the dark squared bishop.
I was saying earlier D5, but I guess it's playable for white.
Yeah, I don't really.
What did we say? Like knight takes C6, bishop
I
D4,
think this would be a potential problem.
2 bishops can be
Just
annoying.
the dark squared bishop, yeah, is so
Yeah.
strong here that I would hesitate to go into this unless I knew for sure it was like good for black.
Yeah. I think next time after F3 you should look into knight E5
Oh right,
because
yeah, this move I didn't know about, but it makes a lot of sense because now it doesn't make sense for him to play F4 and just lose this tempo. But yeah, that makes sense.
I think I've been playing Taimanov longer than you, so and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
one of the first things I learned to play knight E5 against F3.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I
So-
never looked into the line. I
Mhm.
figured I'm just gonna go back and we'll play this middle game where, of course, he's gonna castle queenside, and then I have this hook on A3 to mess with B5 and B4.
That's actually the great thing about Taimanov. You don't necessarily need to know theory. You just know structures and you know the
Yeah,
general
it's
plans.
pretty playable.
Gets you to a certain point.
Well, he castles. I played B5.
Hmm.
And here he decides to take on C6, which I think is okay. It's a normal move. It's probably not the most critical. I imagine G4 here is probably the main line. Actually, this would be a good time to plug my Patreon page. If you guys haven't seen it before, I have a page on Patreon where I do a bunch of chess analysis. I always go over my games if I play in any tournaments. And here we'll just be analyzing most of the game, but if you want a little bit more detail on the opening, or if you want to download the annotated PGN, you should check that out. I'm sure we'll include a link in the description that you can click.
Below the video, yeah.
So it'll be very, very easy for you to find that. But yeah, if you want to see more comments specifically on the opening, I don't want to give away too much of my prep on YouTube. So you'll have to visit that
I don't
page.
think this is prep though. After bishop B4, bishop E7.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but I think I'll go in and try to maybe investigate a bit deeper if this
Yeah.
knight e5 move is really, really good. Okay, so he took on c6. And this is the line recommended by Negi in his e4 repertoire, but without the pawn on a3. So black basically gave white this free move, bishop b4, bishop e7. And here he made a weird move, knight a2, which I think is not very good objectively. He was obviously worried about b4 and wanted to prevent this, but the problem is that black is eventually just going to play a5, b4 anyway, and so he's not really stopping anything.
What should he do in this position?
So a better move would have been g4. And the main plan for white here is to play h4 and bishop h3.
Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't play b4 immediately?
I might.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the main line, the pawn's on a2.
Right.
And so b4, knight a4 gives nothing. But here it's like, well, you do take the pawn.
Because you get the bishop to b4, queen a5.
Yeah, so this I would really consider. Because I do have to be careful about the d8 square.
That's true.
Well,
Don't get mated.
Well, I'm not castled, yeah. But queen a5 still covers it. Like bishop f4, maybe I could play queen a5.
Because you're threatening queen a1, just wins.
Yeah. I mean, that might be disastrous. Of course, I have to watch out for this. And that would be bad for me. But queen a5...
Wait. E5? Bishop take e5? Queen a5, you're not attacking the bishop.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just plays king b1 probably.
That's true.
Okay, queen a5 here is probably good. I don't know. I didn't think about this one too much. It definitely looks like something I should consider. When I play low-rated players, I try not to predict their moves because they always surprise me. Right. So if he plays g4, I would start thinking.
That's true.
Like, he turned out to play knight a2, so like yeah, it was no use for me to analyze that line too deeply. But I mean, this position, it looks reasonable. I don't have rook b8, which is unfortunate, but well, I can castle, and then like I don't know what to do after king b1. I guess.
Can you play e5? Bishop take e5, bishop e6. Just initiative.
Yeah, something like this.
Bishops attack.
This would make sense.
I'll play like bishop takes c3, queen a2. Eventual like rook d8 mating ideas.
Yeah, and you can't play bishop d3 here as one because then I do take.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, or I'm threatening to take right away. So he would have to do something. Maybe he takes. I don't know. That seems double-edged, but
just seems like you have so much power. Like two bishops, open b file.
Yeah, no, I would definitely take black here. I think this is probably good. Well, yeah. So maybe knight a2. I don't know. It seems. Well, I would imagine knight takes c6 then is dubious if g4, b4 is just good for black, then he shouldn't be taking on c6, and he should just play like g4 right away. Because the difference here is that he can put his knight on b3, I imagine. Oops. Actually, I was thinking about something like this during the game, trying to figure out if I would have some play here. Well, it looks reasonable. Open b file and so on. But anyways, okay, he takes, he plays knight a2. And I played e5, which I don't think was really necessary. I think it's definitely a decent move here, but I feel like a5 would have just been a lot easier. Because I stop his knight from coming to b4, and then in many positions I'm just threatening to play b4 myself because I always have like rook a1 check at the end. And I don't really need to play e5 right away. There is a common idea for white to play e5 himself. I thought he might go for this actually. Because if I take, he has bishop f4. And if I go this way, I think my queen just gets trapped.
Yeah, the queen gets kicked around. And if queen c5, he just repeats bishop e3.
Yeah, maybe he has something better, but okay, from my point of view, a repetition is unacceptable. So yeah. I would probably play knight d5. This is usually fine for black. And we just get some kind of pseudo-French.
It still looks good with the pawn on a3. Like
yeah,
you
I
always
think
have
the pawn on a3 is helpful for me here. So I would have been okay with this for sure. Okay, in any case, knight a2, e5 is played, knight b4. So I felt like his idea was to play queen c3 and then either bishop c5 or knight d3 first and clamp down on this square. So I realized I should be precise here, and then I kind of overthought things. One of my first ideas was to play c5, which I think would have just given black a good position, because if he plays knight d5, we can trade. Queen d5, bishop b7, he just has to go back, and I think it's just easier to attack on the queen side. And after e d5, I play bishop d6. I get this nice blockade. I just castle, maybe even bishop f5, rook c8, and it just looks really, really easy for black to play and really difficult for white to, because his pawns are just so slow moving on the king side.
Yeah.
So to me, this just looks like a very real advantage for black. But then I was just looking for something better, and then I convinced myself that I found it, even though I don't think I did. Because I chose bishop b7, just improving the bishop, but the bishop really belongs on e6 here. He plays knight d3, c5, and queen c3.
I think visually it still looks good for black. Just more space.
Yeah, I thought
you had to
doing
castle
well
sooner, I think.
Right, I think at this point I should castle
Yeah.
instead of c5. Although I feel like bishop b7 is just not a good move. Had I castled here, queen c3. See, the problem is if I play knight d7, he does get knight c5 in.
Mm-hmm.
And here I think white is actually maybe slightly better because his queen just gets just very nicely placed. And so like my bishop on b7 is
like
just
he
like
just dominates everything.
really, really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at this point, I'm actually not sure what I should have done. Maybe I should play maybe even a5.
Mm-hmm.
So queen c3 I can potentially meet with b4. But yeah, in any case, bishop b7 I think it was a real, just not a good move. I think c5 is just kind of easy for black. But okay, bishop b7, knight d3. I played knight d7 first, actually. Queen c3 and c5. And so here I thought I was doing fine because all the pawns are defended, and I'm going to play c4, castles, a5, b4. And then he hits me with g3, which very strong move. Definitely the best in the position. And I realized that he's just going to play bishop h3, bishop takes d7, and my position is going to collapse because this knight is holding everything together and I'm just not in time. So if I start to, I don't know, play rook d8, bishop h3, and I don't know, even like bishop d6, well, you can take on d7, and I just don't have a good way to take back. Rook takes.
Your pawns are targets, yeah.
Yeah, just losing a pawn.
It's sad.
So, yeah, this looked really scary. I mean, I definitely panicked, and I'm kind of lucky I even have a way out, which I ended up finding, basically through process of elimination, because black just has nothing else. So castles, bishop h3, and he's always taking on d7. If my queen ever shows up here, then his rook, is opened up, and he just takes on e5. Even if my pawn's on f6, he can just take here, or on c5, and I'm dead lost.
Like, he just found better squares for his pieces in relation to your
Yeah.
pieces.
How did this
targets
happen?
on d7, e5, c5, knight on d3 is so strong.
Yeah, well, this is the problem with being ambitious, is that sometimes you can get caught, especially with black, because you are kind of behind in development. Well, I found the only move, f5. And in the game, he ends up taking right away, which I think is just a serious mistake, because it allows me to simplify the position, and then I feel like black ends up being perfectly okay. In fact, I won the game a few moves later. During the game, I felt like the most dangerous would be just any kind of move that improves his position and keeps the tension. Because everything in my camp is just very loose and hanging, and both of these pawns are weak, and now f5 is hanging. If I take on e4, you can probably take on d7, and this just looks like, I don't know, maybe I take here, queen takes, maybe rook takes, but I don't know. I wasn't too sure about this. I feel like he can also look for another move, like knight b4 here might be very strong, and you're just somehow hitting the knight. I don't know, maybe there's something concrete he can do that looks strong. Probably throwing in the check is also useful.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, something like this, and I think the engine gives like +1. So clearly white is doing very well there. I think after rook h1 I might have to play like g6, and then my position is just very weak. He has bishop h6, and I mean so many things. But he took, which is understandable. I mean, he calculated the line. Material is going to be equal, and it seems like it might be okay for white, but I think black just kind of gets out, and if I'm able to defend these pawns, then I'm doing fine. So he played g4 here. I think it makes sense. And I decided to just keep it simple, take the rook, c4. And now I got rid of one of my weaknesses. I get the c5 square. And I felt like in the game he should play knight f2. Just trying to play knight e4, g5, f6, like this. But I thought after knight c5 I'm doing perfectly fine. If he takes, I don't think this would be good, but I just get this bishop and a5. b4 comes very quickly. I think his knight on e4 is very pretty, but in the Soviet school of chess, it's called a decoration.
Yeah.
Right? Like, doesn't really do anything for the house. Probably he shouldn't take, but then he can't get his knight to e4, and so I feel like I'm doing well. I have like knight a4 and c3 coming, and so some annoying ideas.
So much attacking potential for black. It's
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, for sure. Well, okay, he played knight b4. Trying to play knight d5, I play knight f6. And this move comes with a hidden threat because I'm covering the d5 square, and then I'm also threatening a5 when his knight just doesn't have a good square. So he blunders here with h3.
It's a nice move. Like, it's disguised you're threatening g4, which is also a threat, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely wanting to take the pawn, but
just a double threat.
h3 or rook g1 are just blunders because of this move. I think he had to play rook to d1. According to the engine, this was best, and then I can take on b4, take on g4, and I think I'm just up a pawn. Looks good for black. Maybe he has some small compensation, but probably nothing serious. Yeah, in any case, he plays h3. Oh yeah, we were analyzing g5 earlier. This might have been also interesting. I'm not sure exactly how black should get the advantage here. I was thinking knight e4 in the game, but then knight d5 is kind of a critical.
Yeah, we were looking at this earlier on the Twitch stream.
Right. And I wasn't sure exactly what black should do here.
You probably have to move the queen.
Yeah, if I take here,
because the knight's gonna land on e6.
Right.
Something.
Like, or rook c8, he can even take on a6. Rook a7, he can play here.
He can take the rook.
What's that?
He can take the rook.
Sorry. Just hanging. Yeah, I can't defend the pawn. So.
Yeah, that's actually kind of sad. Oh, wait, but you take advantage of the g5 pawn, like knight e4, but then h4 or rook g1.
Yeah, but I'm down a pawn. I don't know if I'm going to be better here.
Yeah, no reason to go for this line.
Yeah, probably something just like queen d6, takes, and then I'm hitting the g5 pawn and the queen. If queen b4, I think we felt this endgame would just be really nice for black. Because f pawn ends up hanging, and then I get knight d6, and then bishop c5, even have rook f5, and should be a win. I don't know. Yeah. He doesn't seem to have any counterplay here. So yeah, g5 not quite working. Rook d1 is probably just the only way to really keep the game going. h3, a5, and it's just over because knight a2 I just break with b4. And oh wow, already that's when you know it's bad, when the engine assumes it's just giving up the
Well,
knight.
This is a built-in chess-face engine, which not most high quality.
But of course, this is black's point. He tried knight d3, which is the only other logical move. But of course, with the knight hanging, it's like you're always either looking to move the queen with tempo or defend it with tempo. Queen b7, knight f2, he's still in the game. Although b4 is probably dangerous, but knight d5 is just much more to the point and easier. Just hitting his queen, defending mine, and attacking the bishop. And so this is just lost for white. Just loses the piece. I took on e3 and converted from here pretty easily. So yeah, it was like, I mean, it was a tough game in the middle. I definitely feel like it
was a very topsy-turvy game for only like 24 moves. Yeah,
I really just kind of, I was a little bit lazy with bishop b7. I was just kind of, hoping he makes a mistake for me. I don't have to like try to induce it. But the direct approach c5, I think, would have just been clearly better. Even though we're trading some pieces, I feel like this position is just so comfortable and easy for black. I should have done this. So kind of a rocky start, but okay. I mean, I did find the kind of only way to not lose. And, well, immediately he made a mistake and, like, you know, I was unable to equalize. So, all right, I'll take it.
That's true.
Let me save this.
Okay.
We can move this up.
Okay. Are we going to cut the recording or?
No, I'll just keep going.
Okay.
And,
yeah,
you can
make
just
a
go
new
from
board.
here.
Okay. Well, I'm super jet lagged. I don't know if people can, who are watching, who can tell. Is this a real time? 10:03?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m.
As I woke up at 7 a.m. today, I was really tired when I played my game. So I'm going to try and keep this quick. Can I just...
Yeah, just make moves.
I just make moves?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try and get through the whole game without needing to look at the score sheet. It was under 30 moves. I play a London because what else? He played e6, d5, e3, then he played c5.
But you're also playing like 1700 here?
Yeah, my opponent is someone who I met last year,
Nice.
older Romanian guy who he recognized me last year from YouTube, which is interesting. Like, he's watched almost all my St. Louis Chess Club YouTube videos.
Oh, nice.
And he told me after we played this game that he watched the video on the London, or videos on the London, but he forgot everything, which is good for me.
Nice.
It's ironic, though, because one of the videos that I do on the London is called Games You Should Know by Heart.
Right.
And that's not something you should forget everything. But anyway, he played c5. This is already a kind of an unusual move order. And I thought for a moment here, should I play like knight f3 or c3 or knight d2? Went for c3. Mainly because I wanted to keep these queen g4 options open. If I play knight f3, it would stop any queen g4 options. Also, c3 is played because if he plays queen b6, I can play queen b3. And then usually this is a nice way to meet.
And c4 you just go back, right?
Yeah, and as long as he doesn't have like bishop f5, then it's okay.
Right.
So
that's annoying. I'm gonna just
how do I go back? Oh yeah. Where's the arrow key?
That'll be arrow keys. Let me...
Oh, I can click on notation too. What's going on?
I think this thing might be on a key, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it might be on like
My
the
bad.
shift key or something. That's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not broken yet.
Should be fine.
Okay. So we got to this position. Sorry, I'm used to using Lee chess, so this is a blast from the past.
Chessbase.
Chessbase was my like best friend until I discovered Lee chess.
Nice.
But okay, I'm still friends with Chessbase. Anyway, he played bishop d6 here, which made...
you can click this green button if you want to.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Which made queen g4 really tempting, or even some line like take and then queen g4. And I was debating. I thought he plays g6, and usually in these lines the knight wants to come to c3.
Oh, I see.
But because I've committed to pawn c3, I didn't know, so I didn't go for it. I stayed in my comfort zone. I played bishop g3, and there's still a lot of potential to transpose into some like main lines if he plays like knight f6 or knight c6. But he didn't do that. He took, which is maybe already dubious. But then I realized that this sort of position, it's like a Karo-Khan exchange variation.
Right.
Where you like trade early and you get this like Carlsbad structure. But because he's played this e6 early, usually you don't want to do that in Karo-Khan. Like, you want to develop the light squared bishop.
Comes out.
So, okay, I'm happy here.
Yeah.
What did he do? He played a weird move here. Yeah, he played a really weird move. Try and guess his next move.
Is it e5?
No.
Oh, okay.
That would just... Okay, not like a bat.
No, just you were hovering over the square.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
weird move?
Pretty
that,
bizarre.
kind of club level player would make. I don't know, b6.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think
Because he's a French player.
Yeah, he wanted to trade off the bishop.
Right, but you have.
But I have queen a4 check.
Yeah.
So he's not threatening bishop a6. So my eyes kind of lit up when he played b6, given that, okay, if he's threatening bishop a6, I should allow it because
Right.
he's threatening to blunder.
So this is the moment where you just play knight f3 quickly and hope he just like.
Yeah,
follows
but
up.
I didn't want to play knight f3 because I still wanted queen g4 options. I want to have my queen to
Right.
a4 in some cases and g4 in some cases.
So
I played what I thought was the most flexible move, knight d2. And then he started like shaking his head here, so then I think he realized bishop a6 was not playable. And he played knight f6. And then I don't know if I told you this, but I just finished like making a course on the London, on specifically tactics in the London.
Oh, cool. For
It's
which
not
site?
it's not released yet. iChess.
Oh, nice.
It's coming out like next month. I prepared like a lot of positions related to this this early b6 where it's just so weakening for black.
Yeah.
I was looking for ways to take advantage of this, like somehow prevent him from castling. Obviously, like queen a4 and bishop b5 are candidate moves. I played bishop b5.
Yeah, he doesn't have a good way to.
Well, he has bishop d7,
Ah, I see.
and that's why I didn't play bishop b5 directly after b6.
Right.
But I realized after bishop b5, okay, bishop d7 is really the only logical move. If I want to, I could take on d6. But then we get some line like this where
Neither side can castle.
then it's weird. I didn't want to go for this. His bad bishop becomes a good bishop.
Right.
So I went for this, realizing I could just play bishop d3 here.
Yeah, just pull back.
And his bishop on d7 is misplaced.
Right.
And I actually keep initiative. It looks like I've wasted time moving my bishop twice. But now his bishop on d6 is undefended. And he has to make some decision here what to do with the bishop. So what did he play? I think he played queen c7, which is logical.
Yeah.
I played knight f3. Then we continued developing. He played knight c6. I'm starting to forget, but I'm still remembering. Queen e2.
Yep.
A lot of times in London, it's a fight for this e5 square. As white, I probably just want to stick a knight in e5 and be happy.
Right.
As black, he wants to castle and play e5 before I can castle, but that would take too many moves. So I was feeling pretty comfortable here. But he played a strong move. He played knight h5, which I think is the best move.
Oh, okay.
Simple idea of just taking on g3 with the knights. And I really wanted to keep the tension between the bishops, but I didn't want to give up the bishop pair. He's also threatening knight f4, which is annoying. So I saw this coming before I played queen e2, and I just thought I could take, which is what I did after take, and then just play g3.
G3, yeah.
But he's already like made some accomplishments by trading off the bishops, and because it feels like I should have like a better grip on the position, like slightly more space, any trade should be beneficial for black. But now I think he played a bad move. What would you play here as black?
I feel like I would just go back, knight f6.
Yeah, I think that's a bad move.
Oh, wow.
Because knight f6, like the knight has no purpose. Like
Well, it's better than on h5.
Right. So that's true. Like I want to play knight e5 next.
Right.
I think he should play g6.
Yeah, g6 makes sense.
Because he keeps the knight. I never can play g4, and then he has long-term ideas of like f6 and e5. And the knight is actually stable on h5.
Yeah, this is like the QGD where they play this early knight h5.
Yeah.
Bishops get traded. Yeah, it makes sense.
And there's another line in the London, like where you... I've shown this before on streams where like black plays this early knight h5, and then f6 is a very common idea. Like f6 and g6. So...
But you must still be happy here with white.
Yeah, I would have played this.
Yeah.
Well, I probably would just castle, play rook e1, and try and prevent e5. But he didn't go for that. I played g3, so he did not do that. He played knight f6 back, which I think is just a positional mistake, like choosing the wrong plan.
Oh.
And then I was happy. I played knight e5 right away. just putting the pressure.
Yeah, now you just get this bind.
Yeah, no, it's a nice bind.
Yeah.
Then I saw his expression. He took a long time here, and he looked sad, so that made me happy. I forget what he did. Did he castle, or did he play rook c8? This is a time where I have to find the notation.
Yeah.
We have, like, these carbon copy sheets, and they take the top copy, so the bottom copy is barely readable.
Well, yeah, they need the authentic
56.
score sheet.
That's true. So they can probably sell it on eBay for profits. Anyway, okay. He castled, which is logical.
Yeah.
I was hoping he wouldn't castle because he'd be scared of some attack, but he had no fear. I castled. And then he played bishop c8.
Whoa.
Undeveloping, which actually makes sense. I think this is a fine move because at some point he might want to play. Yeah, maybe bishop b7, maybe someday knight d7. Like, what else to do as black? Like, there's so few plans here in a position like this because he can never take on e5.
That's true.
So I thought this was reasonable.
Oh.
I play rook ae1.
Yeah, to me it's a sign that his position must be horrible if he has to resort to this move.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Because, like, all of my pieces are just
Looks great.
coordinated, harmonious. I want to play f4.
Yeah, f4, g4,
So,
g5.
yeah.
The old Pillsbury attack.
Yeah, but something, I don't know, it wasn't that easy. Maybe I made it look easy given what happened in the game, but it didn't feel that easy during the game.
Right.
So I play f4. Wait, did I play f4? I played f4. He played rook c8. And then I think I made some inaccuracy here. I played knight f3. Which, like, the one small issue for white is the e4 square is potentially a weakness.
Right.
If he ever can, like, play knight e4 and f5. And when I play knight f3, I'm potentially giving him control at a later point. And he played a good move here. He played knight e7, which I completely forgot about. Now he just wants to play knight e4 and f5.
Right.
And then I realized that I made a mistake.
So what if you had played like g4 on the
g4
previous move?
in this position.
Yeah.
I was honestly just considering knight df3 and queen g2. g4. So I was predicting that he would go for something like this. With ideas of, like, f6 or even f5. Maybe I should have considered this.
Yeah, maybe like rook f3 here.
Rook f3. So, okay, f6 right away doesn't work because it hangs the e6 pawn. Yeah, maybe this is possible. Because he can't move the f pawn.
Yeah, it looks...
And he's kind of stuck. And I want to play rook h3. I should have considered this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a hacker, so this is...
Yeah.
This is just...
Yeah, I should have considered this. I just didn't see his plan. Knight
Right.
df3, knight e7.
Yeah.
And now, I want to ask you, do you remember... This was back when, like, we were both around 18. You remember attending the U.S. chess school?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And Von Whaley was supposed to be the coach.
Right.
But then he got, like, deported. Or he didn't make it through customs.
This is an amazing story. He mistakenly told the customs agent that he was visiting the U.S. to, like, teach this chess camp. And so
never
he had,
tell
like...
customs that.
He had admitted that he was here, like,
For
getting
work.
paid and working. But he didn't have a work visa. So they deported him, and he hasn't visited the U.S.
Is deported
since.
the right word?
I think so.
If he didn't make it through customs though, but okay, it's still deportation.
Yeah, I feel like because he was on.
He
was
just
on
got
US
declined,
soil. He was
yeah.
like in JFK or something.
Or declined entry or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was really sad because then the replacement coach for U.S. chess school was Greg Shahade, which was actually it turned out to be a great experience.
Yeah, he did a great job. I think he.
Greg was awesome.
Coach.
Yeah, that was great.
I think Simon Williams also got sent back, not for the same
Oh,
reason.
I think you're right.
But recently, for some reason, he.
Yeah, like some chess.com.
Yeah.
And Anyway,
Oh, right.
at the U.S. Chess School,
Yeah.
Greg gave a lecture on like the most random topic.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I'm leading to here?
What was... Because he did a lot of...
He did some interesting lectures. He also made us give lectures too.
Yeah.
To like all these little kids.
I remember you showed a game against...
Ivanisevic.
Oh, was it him? I feel like you showed a game against some junior.
Ooh.
But I
don't remember.
Yeah, I couldn't...
It was a long time ago.
Maybe
It
like
was 6
Darwin
years
Yang
ago.
or someone.
Darwin Yang I showed, yeah. Some Greek gift.
But Greg, he gave a bunch of lectures. It's always like...
Anyway, the lecture Greg gave was admitting mistakes. And basically, when you play a move, your opponent plays a move, you realize you made a mistake, and you revert and just move back, like undoing your move.
Yeah.
And he showed like a bunch of examples like that. And then I got to this position, I realized, okay, that lecture came to mind. I realized probably the best move here for white is knight back to d2.
Yeah.
Stop knight e4.
It's an important moment.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, strong players make mistakes all the time. And the point is just not to make your position worse once you've made a mistake. Just have no shame. Keep playing the game. I mean, if anything, your opponent who's lower rated will just gain confidence. And that's great, because then they're a lot more likely to blunder when they're confident. So, yeah, I think it's a nice move.
Yeah, well, it's just keeping all the tension. And I actually thought he would play knight c6 quickly here, thinking that, okay, I would maybe repeat. But he actually took a lot of time. He realized that, oh, maybe he tricked me and got some confidence. He wants to make full use of the position. But I was still feeling good after knight d2. I was feeling bad like around when he played knight e7, but
your position still looks great. I mean,
yeah, it's full control.
Yeah.
Then he started playing weird moves. Okay,
it's the confidence.
His next 4 moves are like incredibly weird because they had nothing to do with like it seemed like an attempt to improve the position, but he just let me attack, and there was no focus on the king side.
Oh, I see.
So first move he played was rook to c7.
Okay.
Which maybe a small improvement or something, I don't know. I played queen g2. And then the next move was...
Well, the issue is, like, in this structure, like the Carlsbad, or reverse Carlsbad, you know, normally they just want to play b5, b4, right?
Yeah.
But he never has this plan.
Right.
So it's not clear what to do.
I thought that somehow... Like, I thought he played rook c7 with the idea of knight c8, knight d6. But it's just too slow. Because I'm going to get, like, threats with g4, g5 or something.
Yeah.
But normally in the structure, you want your knight on d6 and f6 to control e4.
Right.
But okay, he played another random move, a5. Which gave me another tempo. I played queen h3. Wait, did I play queen h3? Yeah, I played queen h3.
And then he grabbed the
and
knight.
then it would be great if he touched this knight on f6. No, then he played rook a8.
Whoa.
So it was some deep positional idea to like trade off light squared bishops.
Yeah.
Maybe it's playable. But I continue
so
improving. I play knight df3. And then he played, now he has to defend because I'm threatening all sorts of dirtiness with knight g5.
Right.
So he played h6. And when he played h6, my eyes lit up because I thought I had a winning combination here. I thought I could.
Oh boy.
Do you see it?
Well, I would love to just either play knight g5 or take on f7, then play knight g5.
Well, those are the two candidate moves.
Yeah. Yeah, good time to pause, figure it out.
I immediately, if you want to like calculate this and pause your video and suggest or try and find the best continuation for white, feel free to do so. I took maybe 15 minutes in this position. It took a long think. I played the opening and the middle game relatively quickly up until here. So I immediately just thought knight take f7 is winning because knight take f7, king take f7, rook take e6.
Right, and then bishop g6 check.
No. knight takes g6. Wait. Yeah, knight takes g6.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he covered
knight
that.
e5 check.
Oh, knight e5. Right.
So the line, knight take f7, king take f7, rook take e6. And I just thought it should be winning, but then I realized after rook take e6, he has bishop c8. That's so annoying.
Cold shower.
Yeah. Like, he probably didn't see this, but he would probably find bishop c8 if we got to that position.
Right.
Just to illustrate further.
Yeah, and there's nothing there for white, you think?
I don't think so, because I sack a piece, and queens are getting traded. I wanted to make like knight e5 work, but knight e5 just king g8, I assume. And then
yeah, his knights
my rook is skewered to the queen.
His knights are covering a lot of squares. And then when he takes on h3, he's also hitting the rook on...
Exactly, so I don't even like win the b6 pawn.
Right.
So that was a bit annoying. So that was the first candidate move, knight take f7, but rejected because of this line. I also had some ideas like knight take f7, king take f7, and then knight g5. There's a reason why I rejected it.
Well, you're giving up a lot of knights, but...
Yeah, maybe he just takes, and it's too messy, like it's too risky where it's unclear. And if he survives, he could be winning. So
yeah. Immediate knight g5 looks...
So knight
nice.
g5 immediately looks nice. Could make the move. But I didn't play it. And this is where my jet lag, like, looking back on the game, just because I'm so sleep deprived, I don't remember what I was thinking. Oh, I rejected it because not because of h take g5, but because of rook f8.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see how I make progress here. Now he wants to take and play knight e4. Because now f7 is defended. I was calculating like lines. So if I move back to like knight gf3, he has knight e4.
Yeah, this is not a position where you should go back. I mean, I feel like hg5 isn't a threat yet, just because like knight e4, maybe you'll have like rook f4, rook h4 maybe,
but it's muddy.
But like, he also doesn't have to take, so there's no... What if you played...
Wanted to make something like g4 work or knight take f7 work, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Nothing's
so
happening.
I didn't see anything there. So I realized that these immediate tactics, they don't lead to much. So why not bring something more into the attack? And I played g4.
Yeah, use the hook.
Yeah, our games had similar themes, kind of.
Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with this.
Well, I was hesitant to play g4 because knight e4, and he gets something. I guess I was trying to be too controlling, where I wanted like full dominance.
Right.
But I guess it was okay to give him something. Because a line like this, if he plays knight e4, which he didn't do, I think I just go for g5.
Just g5, yeah. Looks really bad.
Or even like I could take on e4 and then knight d2 and go after the e4 pawn. So there might be a few options there. But if I'm not mistaken, in this position he played the losing move. Maybe it's already losing, I don't know. But he played bishop a6. Which walks into bishop take a6. Bishop take a6, or rook take a6.
Yeah, he spent so much time trying to get his rook to a6 that it's not...
It's just a bad. It's completely out of play. It doesn't have time to come back and defend. So this is a time to strike. This is again where like doing this whole video course and like preparing all these tactics specifically in the London really helped, because I had all these like concepts in mind about keeping initiative, going for destruction. A lot of examples were fresh about like kingside attacks like this.
Yeah.
And here is about combining a few different resources and taking advantage of the fact that black's pieces are just out of play in terms of being able to defend the kingside.
Right.
So the move to start with, of course, is g5.
Yeah.
And now after taking on g5.
Oh boy.
Did you see what happened?
No, I didn't. Looks
I
bad.
mean, it already looks bad.
Yeah.
But actually, some natural moves here. Oh, maybe I could just take with pawn. Taking with pawn might be simpler than what I did. Oh my gosh. And then I can take on f7.
Knight f7, right.
I did not even see that. That's double checkmate. Okay, I played a way more complicated option. I don't know why I didn't see this.
So, wait, you said there's a double checkmate?
Double checkmate. This is more beautiful than a... Oh, wait, that's not double. What am I seeing? King e8. Or king g8. That's not even... It's double check.
Oh, it's not mate, but this still looks really good.
But this is still crushing.
I mean,
yeah.
king e8, queen h8, and king g8. I feel like g6 must be...
That's embarrassing. I thought this was checkmate. Because if here, then queen h8.
Yeah.
And if... oh my gosh, what did that do? If king g8, I assume knight f7.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was probably the cleanest win. I did something a bit fancier. After he played h take g5, I played the immediate knight take f7.
Oh, nice.
Because after king take f7, I was so fixated on this previous idea that I wanted to play earlier, where there were bishops on the board, to play rook take e6. Now he doesn't have the bishop to play bishop c8.
Yeah.
Queen take e6, knight g5. So
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it should just be winning. I think the best try for him is queen d8. He just took on f4. I think forgetting about knight e5.
Oh.
And then just resigned.
I see. Wow, that was abrupt.
So, yeah, it finished very abruptly. I think he just assumed that, like, these punch in the face moves, knight take f7, rook take e6. But it's not over here. At least I didn't see like a clear cut win, but I saw so much initiative. I was gonna play knight e5.
But can you take and take on f6 if he goes back?
I was gonna play knight e5 in this position. Because I want my pawn on g5. That's one of the points.
Oh, sure.
There's another funny line actually. I'll just show. After. Wait a minute. I go back one move. Yeah, in this position, if he plays g4, it's kind of an interesting counterattack. I would play knight e5. Wait a minute. No, I would play knight g5.
And g5. Yeah.
Let's say king g8. And then there's this nice move, because my queen's still attacked. Queen d3. Now his queen's hanging, his rook's hanging, and I'm threatening rook take f6.
Yeah. So
some move like this. Okay, I could take the rook, but I could just take on f6, and it's queen h7 is coming. So yeah, g4 didn't work. So yeah, probably the best line would have been queen d8, and then I assume this is just crushing, because of queen h8 ideas, and like if king g8, I just take on g5.
Yeah, it looks over.
Knight f7, queen h8 should just be winning for whites.
Well, not too bad.
So the first round game, still super tired.
Yeah, you just got to Europe, so you're getting used to the time control.
I mean, I flew into London like 3 days ago and arrived in Romania yesterday, so I'm tired. And it's late for me, even though it's 2:30 p.m. Chicago time. I woke up at 6 today. Went back to sleep, then woke up at like 7. And just up since then.
All right. So that was round 1. Yeah. We'll be back with every round we play.
Yeah. Now the question is, will the internet be good enough here to upload a YouTube video? 'Cause I'm not sure about that.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But there are, we have options. Like we can use
options.
Dropbox and TeamViewer.
It still has to get online though.
We'll finagle it somehow.
Yeah. Anyway, we will see you guys.
If you're watching this, it means
future.
we were successful.
If you're not, then that's kind of sad. Okay.
All right,
bye guys.
See ya.